Hello, Steve White's 89. Well, I'm happy to say that Shang-Chi did really well at the box office. It blew the projections and the Labor Day box office records out of the water and surprised a lot of people. And probably the most surprised are certain YouTubers who have been trashing the film with the very racist intention of trying to bring it down for ages. And one of the best parts was that Simu got to gloat it and rub it in their faces. He put a image up on YouTube with 8 thumbnails of certain YouTubers who I'm not suggesting those people have any hatred or racism or anything. I'm not talking about those people, of course. I'm just talking about other YouTubers who sort of, play to bases that are basically white supremacist and full of hate, and they feed them hate constantly because they make money out of it, so they're sort of monetizing and capitalizing on a hate grift. I'm not saying these guys, of course, not these guys, of course, allegedly, supposedly. So he had an image which had 8 thumbnails. They had the quartering, the critical drinker, geeks and gamers, nerd-rotic, heel versus babyface, clownfish TV, world-class BSers, and Ryan Kinnell. Now, I don't know what the hell Ryan Kinnell is there for, because he's a nobody. The other guys are all sort of somebodies. They're sort of YouTube people. Like they've got some charisma. They've got some personality. They've got some. They're kind of entertaining when you watch them on some level. When they're not talking about certain things that are offensive. I don't know how he got on that list. I guess Simu just needed an 8th thumbnail to sort of fill the space. But so he put that up, and then he had just a LOL written over all of them, because they were all trashing him and all saying that the film's going to flop, it's going to be a failure, and it wasn't. It's doing very well. It made $90 million in the US, so it did far better than they were expecting. It's 3 times the old record, and they're expecting it to go 45 million. So it did basically twice what they were expecting. So it's overperformed, and everyone is surprised. And these guys are not happy because basically they need a new narrative now, because the old narrative of, it's going to flop, it's not going to do well, it's going to be a failure, isn't happening. They're still trying to act like it's not as successful as it is, that it's not as big as the other Marvel films, which of course, different circumstances. Besides the pandemic, there's also the fact that all those other characters were established in other films and built up. They weren't sort of standing on their own like Shang-Chi is. So there's all that. But now the narrative is, he's weak. He's secondary in his own film. He's a co-star in his own film. His sister is a bigger star and more of an action, and she's just wiping the film, with him, and he's just sort of following along like a little soy boy. So that's the narrative now, since they can't do the film's not going to do well financially. Now they're doing the whole, he's weak. So because these people cannot handle the idea of a woman being strong. Like, if you have a strong woman and a strong man in a film, well, the man has to be weak for the woman to be strong, because the two just can't exist in their minds. They're just too triggered by the idea of it. So he has to be weak because there were female stars in his film, female characters in his film that were strong. So because the only woman that they're sort of okay with is that sort of passive, feminine sort of woman who doesn't threaten the patriarchy, who sort of works around the patriarchy, kind of like that Star Wars girl, how she sort of manages to sort of be there and be allowed to sort of be in their sort of group, but it's only because she doesn't actually threaten their sort of sense of masculinity or anything, and she plays it and all that with her everything. And so that's these women are not like that, so they can't handle that. So it's kind of fascinating. Not these 8 people, of course. I'm talking about someone else, other YouTubers, of course. But it was just fun. It was just good to see. I'm just glad that he did it. I'm glad he basically stuck it to them. And the funny thing is, like, they are all now saying, he must be a weak person to do this. He must be so insecure to care what YouTubers think, playing down the huge effect they have with the audience that they have. So now their angle is that, he's weak and insecure, and it just shows just how bad it's just all negative for the sake of it. They can't say anything good. They can't, because they have to play to certain things and that. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of entertaining. I wish he hadn't taken it down, but I'm guessing Disney was sort of like, no, we don't need to rile these people up. They're already a big enough problem with marketing and getting the film out there. We don't need to give them more and give them more attention. So he probably took it down for that. But he put it up. He got to gloat. He's winning. I hope I get to see the film in the cinema, because in Australia everything's closed at the moment, so I can't go to the cinema. I don't want to watch it on my computer, but I might have to, because I do want to see it and I don't want to wait any longer because I've already had a bunch of things spoiled. But I'm going to go before this video gets to 6 minutes, because it was supposed to be a short video. I'm glad he gloated. I'm glad he stuck it to them. I find it funny to see how they're trying to spin it. And yeah, I'm just going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.